Very warm welcome to this special edition of Rajya Sabha Television, streaming to you from Meghalaya's capital in Shillong, where India and China concluded the 8th edition of hand-in-hand military exercise. And in this edition, I'll get you all the highlights of this important exchange between India and China. Come along. Notwithstanding the skirmishes along the borders, the Indian Army and China's People's Liberation Army showed camaraderie in the Indo-China joint exercise. It was the 8th edition of joint training exercise Hand in Hand 2019 between the armies of People's Republic of China and India. The joint training exercise commenced with a splendid opening ceremony and lasted for 14 days in the hilly Umroi military cantonment in Meghalaya under the aegis of the Red Horns Division. The Chinese contingent from the Tibet Military Command, comprising of 130 personnel, and the Indian contingent of similar strength participated in the training exercise. The exercise was planned at the company level with the respective battalion headquarters controlling the training. Umroi military station, situated at about 100 kilometers southeast of Guwahati, amidst lush green pine trees and jungles, hosted similar joint exercises with military teams of Thailand, Japan and Bangladesh as well.
Since it is the 8th edition, over a period of time there has been an incremental progress that has taken place in these joint exercises. Over the last 2 weeks, the contingents of both the countries have carried out joint training, which included training in combat drills, adaptive training, integrated live shooting, and joint counter-terrorist operations.
The military drill focused on counter-terrorism operations. The exercise was aimed at building and promoting positive relations between the two armies. The two contingents march in a crisp manner. The hard work and confidence in their gait is prominently visible. Every step they take is a step towards the goal of both nations to fight a successful battle against terrorism. The national flags of the countries are brought on the parade ground. All rise and those in uniform salute on command. The national anthem of India is played, followed by the national anthem of People's Republic of China. The kukri combat performance was spectacular. The kukri is knife originating from Indian subcontinent, associated with the Gurkhas of Nepal and India. The knife has a distinct recurve in the blade. It is used both as a tool and as a weapon. The wielders of kukri, the Gurkhas, are an indomitable race, brave, sturdy and cheerful. A Gurkha with a kukri is more fearsome than any modern weapon. If someone says he's not afraid of dying, he's either lying or he's a Gurkha. Then on the display was the energy, vigor of the Marathas. There are numerous ways to celebrate victory and the gallant actions of men in uniform. Charge Patak is one such celebration, wherein the Maratha army would return home victorious from battlefield. The villagers would celebrate by coming out of their homes and dancing to the beats of dhol and chanj. The flag at the center is a symbol of their strength and solidarity. The Gatka performance was riveting and spellbinding.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the swordsmen of Punjab.
Gatka is an ancient martial art which has been mainly associated with Sikhs of Punjab region, thoroughly battle tested. Although sword is used as a primary weapon, many other weapons are available to the Gatka master. The team carries a nishan as a symbol of purity of purpose. Practice of Gatka makes the mind alert, responsive, maintaining the body in a near perfect condition and makes soul fearless, compassionate and tranquil. The People's Liberation Army was represented by the 1st Infantry Battalion of the Tibet Military Command. The officers and men exhibit their sturdiness, discipline and determination, rubbing shoulders with their Indian counterparts.
To the tunes of 100 pipers.
They march in sync, fully geared to take on the challenge of fighting global terrorism with mutual assistance and cooperation.
This is an opportunity for both sides to learn from each other and evolve practices and drills, besides rehearsing under an established joint command.
The aim of the exercise was to practice joint planning and conduct of counter-terrorist operations in semi-urban terrain. The exercise schedule was focused upon training on various lectures and drills associated with counter-terrorist handling and firing with each other's weapons, special hellborn operations and case studies of various operations carried out in counter-terrorist environment. 2 tactical exercises were scheduled during the training. One on counter-terrorism scenario and the other on humanitarian and disaster relief operations.
第二是这个有效的促进了我们双方军队之间的交流与合作。第三就是通过这个联训活动啊，进一步的这个表明了我们两个国家合力应对恐怖主义威胁、打击恐怖势力的坚定决心。
首长和同志们，现在入场的是棍术表演方队。
Next, we will witness the cultural performance.
棍术是以抡、劈、戳、撩、五花等棍法所组成的套路练习。它的特点是使用2端，棍扫一大片。
The cultural art consists of wheeling, hacking, and poking, by using both ends of the stick to hit a long range of targets. Of extraordinary power, the art of culture is all about speed and requires extreme dedication and training to master it. It is an important part of Chinese culture.
The exercise expected to further sharpen the skills of soldiering in the areas of physical fitness, field crafts, mastering tactics and validation exercises, sports, recreational and competitions with simultaneous understanding of tradition, culture and history. The joint activities further deepened people-to-people contact between the 2 countries. The joint exercise was an opportunity to evolve by mutual sharing of experiences and imbibing the best practices.
徒手击砖。
Break and break with hand.
This exercise Hand in Hand 2019 was aimed at conducting counter-terrorism based joint training exercise between People's Liberation Army and Indian Army. And we learnt a lot from each other. We learnt about each other's best practices. We evolved counter-terrorism based joint tactics and drills, and also rehearsed establishment of joint command and control structures. The 2 armies have also shared proven methodologies with respect to conduct of various kinds of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. And at the end of the training, we really feel we have achieved a good level of interoperability and developed combat competencies to be able to undertake successful counter-terrorism operations in the hour of need.
India and China are 2 of the largest and fastest developing countries, and both the nations stand to gain from further improvement in the relations. The 2 nations, with almost 1/3 of the world's population, do agree that stable and improved relations will be beneficial for the people at large. An improved relationship between the 2 nations would also be an important factor for stability in an uncertain global environment. Armed forces of both countries have enhanced communication and are implementing various confidence-building measures. The joint military exercises, like Hand in Hand, bring the 2 armed forces closer to understand each other better.
exercise hand in hand has been a great opportunity for us to share our drills with one of the professional army like People's Liberation Army. During the exercise, we realized that when the soldiers were interacting with each other in a professional way, that the linguistic barrier and the cultural differences between the two armies do not stand when they interact in this manner. And this is a great opportunity for us to evolve joint drills in countering terrorism in times to come.
The drill will help two sides to establish high degree of combat capability and to develop synergy in counter-terrorism operations.
Hand in Hand 2019 had a special meaning, as it was organized in the 70th year since the establishment of diplomatic ties between India and China.
To the tunes of army staff. The hard work and confidence in their gait is prominently visible. Every step.
A fortnight of learning, sharing and cooperation. Both the contingents take back memories, knowledge and everlasting friendship. The event has strengthened the relations between the two nations manyfold and will go a long way in furthering our goals in the fight against terrorism.
Army staff,
आपस में फायरिंग किया और एमसीपी की ड्रिल किया और आने वाले समय में अभी काउंटर टेररिज्म में हमको मदद मिलेगा तो ये कार्रवाई हमने किया।
बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा जो हमारी 14 दिन की हैंड टू हैंड एक्सरसाइज रही। यूनाइटेड नेशन जनादेश के तहत काउंटर टेररिज्म से संबंधित हैंड टू हैंड चाइना के साथ एक्सरसाइज में हमें पीएलए के साथ ट्रेनिंग करने का मौका मिला। इस एक्सरसाइज ने न केवल हमने एक दूसरे के संगठन, हथियार और इंस्ट्रूमेंट के बारे में जानने की कोशिश की, बल्कि काउंटर टेररिज्म से संबंधित ऑपरेशन को करने के लिए हमने एक सर्वोत्तम ट्रेनिंग भी हासिल की।
Joint exercises are an important part of the contemporary military diplomacy. The proposal to have joint exercises between the two militaries was first mooted by Premier Li Peng when he visited India in January 2001. The 2006 MOU stressed on a number of facts like joint military exercises in the field of anti-piracy, counter-terrorism and field search and rescue operations, annual defence dialogue and frequent exchanges of the highest level military officials and leadership visits between the two sides. The exercise started in 2007 as a confidence-building measure between the two Asian giants and their armies. The drill did not take place in 2017 due to tensions between the two armies over Doklam, but the forces of India and China were locked in a 73-day standoff. The 7th India-China joint hand-in-hand training exercise was held in southwest China's Sichuan province.
Professionalism and the synergy that has been displayed by both the contingents has been of a very, very high order and is actually reflective of the efficacy of these joint exercises and the integration that we have received, that we have carried out so far.
The most important takeaway from the informal summit between Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping at Mamallapuram, the second since Wuhan that happened in April 2018, is that the two biggest nations with a deep civilizational legacy could successfully explore the areas of cooperation independently of third-party influences. The 8th edition of Hand in Hand Joint Military Drill was vital for building trust, especially in times of dynamic geopolitical space.
So that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and signing off from Obrai Khan in Shillong with camera person Junaid Iqbal Khan. I'm KRITI MISHRA for Rajya Sabha Television.